Australian new home sales. We have charts that go right back to 1960, and we're producing less houses now than we did in 1972. And you can see the trend line on all these states is trending down. We hit a peak of supply around the 2005 mark for most capital cities, and then have been trending down since then despite the rising population, all except Melbourne. And that is why Melbourne is now reaching a holding pattern in prices, because they've had the green line pretty well sustained good supply through till the end of 2011. The shortage coming through the market now won't be realised in the marketplace for another 12 months. The rest of the states are in critical short supply. To buy bananas at higher and higher prices, you must have the cash to spend and afford to pay this higher price. This is what's happening right now. People are cashed up like never before, and the current figure at the moment is about $660 billion in accessible cash in the banks. Cash that people can pull out, cash that people will pull out, because when you take inflation and tax into account, they're getting a negative return. They want to do something with this. The Reserve Bank is telling them to do something with it. Where's it going to go? Not into the share market, it's going to go into property. As it does, the demand will push up prices. This chart is the capital city home value increases. The green is how much has increased in the last quarter. The black line is the average of the last 12 months. You can see therefore that the black line is not representative of what's happening now, but the average of what's happened over the last 12 months. I've put the circle around the green because you can see, while the media may be concentrating and saying over the last 12 months values have fallen 1.5% or whatever it may be there, the truth is, if you look at the more recent data, property has turned positive in the last 2 quarters. Now if you look back where I've ringed, you'll see that where it goes from negative to positive, it ushers in a sustained long period of positive returns on your property. What I'm saying there clearly is you're going to get positive returns now for a sustained long period. It's simply the law of supply and demand working in your favour. This again shows the same thing with this Brisbane home values. Again, the same thing's happening. We've had, the circle shows actually more quarters of growth, not as great as the other combined capital cities, but it's certainly coming back. And you see the black line, the trend is a much more negative. We've had the floods go through, which has had an effect on the market. That's washed through the market now, and we're going to see the green positive shoots continue. As in the past, we can see the circles have been in. It's led to a sustained long period of good, regular growth. Unlike the share market, which is up and down, you can see most of these months have put cash in your pocket. Dwelling approvals continue to decline. This shows the dwelling approvals over the period from 1984, and you can see now we are producing less than 1984. I have other charts that show we're producing less than we did back in 1972. We're in a housing supply crisis. We are seeing too few bananas coming into the store. The inevitable result will be rising prices. Already we've seen for the last 5 years consistently rising rents. The law of supply and demand is prices must rise if there's less supply. You can see now is a great time to get in. What's the difference? Here you can see that the profit margin of the banks have steadily increased since November 2007. Glenn Stevens, the Reserve Bank Governor, in December, in an interview with the Australian Financial Review, said the difference between now and 2008, the interest rate on loans have not reduced as they did in 2008. In other words, he's saying the banks are sitting on more profit than they should. That's why, even though we're getting low rates now, I believe the rates are going to come down more and stay down for longer.